guys, it's JaaackJack and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I wanted to do like another Zoey update. I know you guys like these videos, but I wanted to make it interesting and actually share 10 strange, weird things that I have to do with Zoey because of her disability. And I think this will be like maybe funny in a way, but also informative for anyone else who may also have a down dog, a dog that's paralyzed and can't walk. Maybe you didn't realize you have to do some of these things for your dog because they're weird and they're little and they're things that you don't normally think about. And these are just the things that I found that I have to do regularly for Zoey in the past 2 years that she's been like this. So I hope you guys are interested in seeing this, and if you enjoy videos like this and you want to see more, then make sure you like this video and let me know in the comments below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the video. So my last Zoey check-in update type video, I did a Q&A with you guys. So if you missed that, I will leave that linked in the cards. But in that video, I talked about how Zoey was basically completely healed from her surgery and everything was good to go. So now let's talk about the new things going on in Zoey's life, because there's just always something. So as you guys know, we recently moved into a new apartment and it's been a very stressful change for Zoey. She is very unsure of this place and she's not fully comfortable yet, and you can definitely tell in her behavior. She's very like kind of concerned and aware and kind of anxious about everything. And so I haven't been able to really leave her here at the house by herself. Actually, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it was my first time ever leaving her alone, and I recorded the whole thing and it was kind of heartbreaking. Like, I left my camera as I left the house, and yeah, she was not having it. But I want to continue doing just little things like that to slowly help her get a little more comfortable here. And I think once we add furniture and all that kind of stuff, that will also help. But I think just getting her used to the idea of me leaving for a little bit but always coming back, I need to get Zoey like used to that whole that whole motion. So as soon as we moved into the apartment, I had to go on a trip to Las Vegas for Go Wild, and then right after that I had to go to LA for a trip with Dermy. So I was gone a little bit of time, and during those times I had my parents watching Zoey, and I think she might have developed a UTI during that time. She's very prone to getting UTIs because we have to manually express her bladder. You guys know this, I've talked about before. And so if it's not expressed fully and all the pee doesn't come out, she can get a UTI. And so it's very easy for her to get them. But I think she has another one, and we actually have an appointment, a doctor's appointment tomorrow for her to get a urinalysis. Is that what it's called? Basically a urine test to see if it is a UTI, which I'm pretty sure it is, because one of the things that you can, like, one of the indicators of a UTI for Zoey is her pee smells really, really strong and gross. So her pee has definitely been a very strong odor lately. And also it's a little tricky to express her, but I've been able to express her, but I noticed that she's been leaking a little bit, having more pee-pee accidents, and she normally doesn't. And when I do express her, she kind of fidgets a little. Like, she fidgets too much to the point where I can't get it all the way out. So those are kind of like the small indicators that I've picked up on that tell me Zoey has a UTI. But again, we won't find out until tomorrow. And if she does, we'll put her on antibiotics and get her all taken care of. So that's kind of the update on Zoey. She's just been very stressed, my poor girl, and she has a possible UTI. But those are both things that we can work on and fix and eliminate, so I'm not like too worried about it. I know with the stress, it's just gonna take time for her to adjust to this new place, and then with the UTI, after we go to the doctor's tomorrow, she'll get her meds and she'll be good to go. So now, let's go ahead and jump on in to the 10 strange things that I have to do for Zoey. And these are things like doctors don't really tell you when when you're presented with a handicapped dog. They don't really tell you these kind of things. The only thing doctors really care about is that you express the bladder fully, because that's really the only major thing. But there's there's other little quirky things that you have to do for them that you just may not realize. So the first one is you have to scratch their ears for them, because think about it, when a dog is sitting there and they have to itch their ear or somewhere on their face, they'll use their foot and they'll go like this and scratch, right? Well, Zoey can't do that anymore, and you don't think of it at first, but I remember like seeing Zoey was like dragging herself around the house and she was going like this and she was walking like this, and at first I thought, oh my gosh, is she having a seizure or something? But she was just going like this, and then I went over and I started like scratching her, and then like you can kind of see this relief on her face, like she was like, ah. So you gotta scratch their ears for them. Number two, I mean, I've talked about this many times, is you have to make them go potty, and that can be really strange, especially like if we're out in public or we have guests over at the house and they see, they're like, what the heck are you doing right now to her? You have to make them go pee, that's the big thing, but also it's easier if you make them poop. You don't have to make them poop, it's not like they can get sick or something, like they can poop on their own, but because she drags herself and everything, I just prefer to make her poop the same time I make her pee, so I can get it all done and taken care of and we don't have accidents around the house. I do want to make a video because I just feel like it'll be helpful for others who might have handicapped dogs, because whenever I run into a situation or a concern with Zoey, I always go on YouTube and see if I could try and find a video about another handicapped dog, and I literally can't find any. So I think if I were to post them, they would help somebody else out there. So stay tuned for that, a detailed, it's not gonna be pretty, but a detailed video on how I express Zoey, make her go pee and make her go poo. Number three is that you have to lift their back legs in order for them to clean themselves. You know how dogs, like after they go to the restroom or whatever, they lick their private parts to clean themselves. That's just like a nasty thing dogs always do. And I remember seeing Zoey like reaching back there, and she couldn't, like, obviously she can't lift her legs herself, so she's reaching back there and she was looking frustrated. So I went over and I like lifted her leg, and that's all she was trying to do was clean herself, clean her private part. And usually she only does that like after I express her. So usually I'll express her, wrap up the pee-pee pad, throw it out, and then when I get back, I'll lift her leg for her and she'll clean herself. But Zoey's gotten really smart and clever. Sometimes if she does it in like just the right way, she'll kind of use the momentum and like use her head to kind of kick up her leg a little bit, and so she can kind of reach it herself. But for the most part, I'll just help her and lift her leg for her. Number four is that you have to cut their back nails. So a lot of times, I feel like most dog owners don't worry about cutting their dog's nails because you take them out for walks, and when they walk on the cement or concrete, it's like a natural nail file, so it keeps their nails nice and trimmed and you really don't have to worry about it. Or if you have like a dog that is outside in the backyard, often they usually keep their nails trimmed themselves and you don't have to think about it. And with Zoey, I've never really had to think about that before, like the accident and everything. She would just trim her nails herself when we go on walks on the cement, but because she's not using her back legs, the nails on her feet grow so long, so I have to regularly cut those for her. I really don't have to worry about her front paws at all. It's just her back feet, so I have to cut those, and it always scares me cutting them because I'm scared to cut too close and then have it start bleeding, you know what I mean? But because Zoey doesn't really feel a lot back there, it's a lot easier. So just make sure if you do have a down dog, regularly cut their back nails for them. Number five is to always have a diaper bag with you. I know that's silly, she's not a baby, but she kind of is. I always carry a diaper bag with us. I bring it in my car, or if we're going like, because a lot of times I'll take Zoey to church or to gatherings, so I will take a diaper bag with me, and what I keep in there is a diaper. I actually do keep diapers for Zoey. We keep at least one pee-pee pad in there, poop bags in there, cleaning supplies if she makes an accident, so paper towels and some sort of spray or soap. And I also keep bandages in there, like little wraps in case she like cuts herself as she's like dragging or whatever it may be. So I will keep wraps in there. I keep a blanket in there, and then also sometimes I'll bring a toy, but she really doesn't play with toys outside of the house. I don't know why she gets so nervous, so she doesn't play with her toys unless she's here at home. But sometimes I'll bring her a toy, and then I always bring some food for her depending on the time that we're going to be out. She eats at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. every day, so if I know we're going to be out late, I'll bring a little baggie of food for her as well. Number 6 is not like a big deal, but like sometimes I'll just notice she needs a little help in this area. But when Zoey is usually like in the grass, like playing, and she's like rubbing her head in the grass, she'll try to roll over, and I guess it's because she can't really use the momentum from her bottom legs as much. She can't roll over fully on her own unless she's like kind of going downhill, then it's easier for her. But for the most part, she's like trying to roll over, but she can't do it all the way, so I just give her a little push and help her like go on, and then she'll roll over. But I feel like that's not something just like handicapped dogs need help with. I feel like sometimes overweight dogs might need help like rolling over, because I know my parents' dog Lilo, I've seen her try and roll over sometimes, and sometimes she's a little stuck. She can't like go all the way, so she needs just a little push. Number 7 is that you have to help them jump or climb onto things now. So Zoey is very brave, very strong, and very adventurous. So we have little steps in our new apartment, and she'll climb that herself. But sometimes I just find it easier if I just pick up her back, like her bottom. I just pick up her bottom and help her, and it just makes her life a lot easier because she's using so much muscle up here. So Zoey is more prone to getting arthritis in the future because of how hard her upper body is working. So if I can help her, then I will. So like I'll pick up her bottom when we go up like any stairs, or if she wants to like jump on the bed, which she doesn't do often anymore, but if she does, I'll just pick up her bottom and she'll jump herself, or I'll just pick her up myself. Number 8 is that you have to make sure that your down dog is dragging themselves in a safe area. So a lot of people don't like seeing Zoey drag herself, but realistically, if you have a down dog, you're not going to be keeping them in their wheelchair all day long, especially if they're a big dog. They're just going to get caught on the furniture and all that kind of stuff. If they're little, maybe, but even then you still need to take them out, because that means they're literally standing all day long, and you know, dogs don't do that. They like to lay down, they like to rest, they like to roll on their sides. So that's why we keep Zoey out of her wheelchair when we're inside the house, and we only put her in when we're outside. But sometimes I will allow Zoey to drag herself outside, but I have to make sure it's in a safe area. So grass that is for the most part clean. Like, I know I can't control if grass is clean or not, but if you see like a lot of trash or a lot of poop and a lot of like bugs and gross stuff, then you probably don't want them dragging that. But if it's like your front yard and you know for the most part it's pretty clean, then that's okay. Or if there's like little prickly things, you probably don't want them dragging across that, or cement. Obviously I let Zoey drag a little bit on cement, but not that much. Maybe like from like the door to the grass, you know what I mean? I'll let her drag on cement for that, because she's built calluses, so her legs are pretty tough. But you don't want them dragging for long periods of time on cement, or they will cut their legs. I mean, that's obvious. So if you do have a down dog, it's okay to let them drag themselves, just make sure it's in a safe area. Number 9 is to have a car seat seatbelt for them. And I know that sounds weird, like why do you need a car seat seatbelt? But I think for all dogs you should have a seatbelt, but especially if you have a down dog, because I keep Zoey in the back seat, and sometimes when she gets very panicky, she will actually fall down where you put your feet, you know, in the back seat. So she'll fall down on the foot area of the car, and then sometimes she'll be like that and her legs are still up on the seat, so she'll like get caught on it and she can't get herself all the way down. And then if I'm driving and I see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm panicking. So to avoid that, we keep her in a seatbelt. And also when she's down there, sometimes she'll try and jump back up, but she can't get up all the way, and I'm driving so I can't help her. So that's why having a seatbelt is just so much easier to keep your handicapped dog in place so they don't get themselves into trouble while you're driving. And number 10 is kind of awkward, but you have to learn to walk gracefully next to your wheelchair dog. It's not as easy as it looks, believe it or not. Oh, especially if you're going like down the stairs, which we have to do because we live on the 2nd floor of our apartment complex. So we have to go downstairs, and I have to hold the back of her wheelchair if I'm not like carrying her, but I'll hold the back of her wheelchair, and we have to be in tune with one another's steps, or else we're both gonna fall and just eat it. You also have to be okay with your toes being run over by tires. Luckily, I mean, it doesn't hurt, but just be okay with that. Don't wear your nice new white sneakers when you take your dog, your wheelchair dog, on a walk, because they're gonna run over your toes. It's inevitable. So that is it for the 10 strange things that I have to do for Zoey. I hope that this video was informative and you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you want to see more videos like this, or if you have other requests for different Zoey type videos, let me know in the comments below. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!